Assertion.
The first one is existent. Existent is where the inventory exists and available for sale. For the second one is right and obligation. It is where the company has its rights over the inventory that they have.
After all transactions have been done, the company must record all documents, for example, receipt, invoice, and others. Next, completeness. The document that has been recorded must be transferred to journal and ledger.
The next one is valuation. After you complete recording in journal and ledger, assets and liability are recorded at appropriate carrying date. For example, management assets that the inventory at the lower cost or market value on the balance sheet. The next step is measurement. Measurement means a transaction is recorded at a proper amount. Revenue or expenses is allocated to the proper account period. For example, the cost of PPE, property, plant and equipment, is systematically allocated to appropriate accounting period by recognizing the depreciation charge.
And the last one is presentation and disclosure. This assertion includes all the information because all the amount in the financial statement needs to properly presented and disclosed. In other words, the financial statement needs to be fair and easy to understand.
Setting audit objective. Setting audit objective divided into two categories, which is transaction-related audit objective and balance-related audit objective. Transaction-related audit objective. Every transaction that occurs in the company must fulfill the transaction-related audit objective. There are 6 transaction-related audit. First one is existent. Existent means that every transaction must be exist physically. The second one is timing. Timing is related to that. If you buy goods today, then the transaction must be recorded today. The next one is classification. Classification means that transactions included in the client journal are properly classified. For example, cash in and cash out must be recorded in cash book. Accuracy. Accuracy means that the transaction must be recorded in the correct amount. For example, you buy a 50,000 machine, then you must record it at 50,000 ringgit. Completeness. Completeness means that every existing transaction must be recorded. For example, you have a brought down balance for PPE. Then in the next period, you must record it with its balance brought down. Posting and summarization. Recorded transactions are properly included in the master files and correctly summarized. For example, account debtor. Debtor account must be summarized and included into one master file which known as account receivable to know its balance at the end of the period.
As balance related audit objective which is existent, completeness, classification, cut-off, detail tie-in, residual value, and right and obligation is the amount included must exist. For example, in inventory, all recorded inventory that exists must be recorded in balance sheet text. Completeness, existing amounts are included. For example, All inventory that have been found must be recorded in the inventory summary. Accuracy: the amount included are stated at the correct amount. For example, inventory quantity on the client perpetual record agree with the item physical on hand. Price used to value inventory are materialist or classification. Amount included in the client listing are properly classified. For example, inventory items are properly classified as to raw material or work in process and finished goods. Cut-off transactions are near the balance sheet that are recorded in proper period. For example, purchase cut-off year-end record. Retail buy-in details in the account balance agree with related master file amount and the total in the account balance and agree with the total. For example, the total of inventory items agree with the general ledger. Realizable value is the assets are included at the amount estimate to be realized. Example, inventory had been written down where net realizable value are implied and obligation assets are owned or controlled by the entity and the liabilities are obligation to the entity.
Okay, the next one is component of internal control. Component of internal control divided into 5 components, which is the first one is control environment, risk assessment, monitoring, information and communication, and control activities. The control environment includes the governance and management function of an organization. It focuses largely on the attitude, awareness, and action of those responsible for designing, implementing, and monitoring internal control. Elements of the control environment that are relevant when the auditor obtains an understanding includes the following, such as communication and enforcement of integrity and ethical values, commitment to competence, participation by those charged with governance, management's philosophy and operating style, organizational structure, assignment of authority and responsibility, and human resource policies and practices. Evidence regarding the control environment is usually obtained through a mixture of inquiry and observation, although inception of key internal documents is possible. Okay, the next one is risk assessment. The risk assessment process forms the basis of how management determines the risk to be managed. These processes will vary hugely depending upon the nature, size, and complexity of the organization itself. However, larger organizations will have internal audit departments whose roles focus heavily on risk identification and assessments. If the client has robust procedures for assessing the business risk it faces, the risk of misstatement overall will be lower. Monitoring of controls. This is the process of assessing the effectiveness of controls over time and taking necessary remedial action. Clearly, if a control is not implemented properly or is simplified considered ineffective, then misstatement may pass undetected into the financial statement. Monitoring can be either ongoing or performed on a separate evaluation basis. Either way, it needs to be effective for the system to work. Monitoring of internal control is often the key role of internal auditors. Information and communication. The information systems relevant to financial reporting objectives includes all the procedures and records which are designed to initiate, record, process, and report transactions, maintaining accountability for assets, liabilities, and equities, resolve incorrect processing of transactions, process and account for system overrides, transfer information to the general ledger, capture information relevant to financial reporting for other events and conditions, and ensure information required to be disclosed is appropriate reported. And the last one, control activities. The control activities include all policies and procedures designed to ensure that management directives are carried out throughout the organizations. Examples of specific control activities include those relating to authorization, performance review, information processing, physical control, and segregation of duties.
The importance for internal control is in either management's perspective and auditor's perspective. From management perspective, it helps to meet the stewardship responsibilities and the safeguard assets and records. It is also help for the efficiency and effectiveness of operation and give reliable information for decision making. It is also encouraged and heard to preserve policies and comply with the Companies Act 2016. In auditor's perspective, it is internal control helps for the sufficient understanding to plan and develop for effective audit approach. It is also assurance to reliability to data. It is also show how well the assets and records of the entity are safeguarded. The entity's ability to record, process, summarize, report data with management assertion with the help of internal control. It is emphasized on the control over the classes of transactions.
Strength of internal control. Control means the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of event. The first strength of internal control is protect tangible and intangible resources. This means the tangible and intangible resources is controlled to not to be wasted and stole by the thief. Second is complies with law and regulation. When you set up a business, you must set your law and regulation. So the internal control will control the business to follow the law and regulation. Next one is operates effectively and efficiently. This means that when you control a business, your operating system will be operates effectively and efficiently because you control the business. Next one is control risk. When you control, planning your control, then you can control your risk. You can minimize it to the lowest one. The next one is prevent fraud. When you control, you will comply with law and regulation. So it can be directly prevent fraud to be happen in your business. Next, measure progress towards your goal. Okay, this means you can measure your progress from the operating, which is either the goals is achieved or not. Next is generate prompt and accurate reporting. And the last one is identify issue and make action. If your operation business is not on the flow, then you can make action to prevent the issue and get back to the track.